So I get up this morning. Or I wake up. I wake up to go to work at 3 this morning. And the heat in my house is on and running. And I'm thinking, wait, what the heck is going on? Why is my heat on? I mean, it's what's the date? May 9th? The heat's on in my house. And I'm thinking, did I turn on the heat? Did I not turn it off? Oh, wait, no, I left my thermostats on whatever, 7. We keep it about 65 because my wife's always hot. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I go outside and it's 35 freaking degrees outside. Really? Really? If we're going to have this climate change thing, can we get it? Come on. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on a brisk, cool day here somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, as I've already said. I am your host, Dawg Knight. We got the background music, we got the piano, we got the minion up here. Let's kick it off. So, as you know, Thursdays at the Morning Night Live is FTG Thursday. And I really only have one, but I am sure we'll find a few more today. So we might be asking you to throw up a little FTG in the chat here and there. But let's just celebrate this beautiful, brisk, cool day in my lovely town. That's why I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Although it's not that, obviously it's not cold in my house. The heat kicked in. The heat hasn't kicked in for a couple weeks. So anyway, hey, before we get started, let's say hi to who's already here. I got Max Del Rio was first this morning. And I got Smarty Bear. Good morning. MC. Hammer time. Can't touch this. And I got Maddie. Oh, going from the Maddie House of Geek. That's the alternative channel. Good morning. All you need. Hello, how you doing? Trucking Bear. That's it. That's it right now. Oh, wow. I lost some viewers already. Well, whatever. The ones who are here are the ones who are gonna have the enjoyment of being here. Now, make sure as you come in, as you come in the door, hit the like on the way in. Good morning, Seamus Derby. Go ahead and hit the like while you're coming in, and also if you want to throw up a super chat today, my Streamlabs is working again, so if you can do that, and also hit the share button and share this out, or I have put the Twitter link in the chat. In fact, I'm going to put the Twitter link in the chat again. Boom, there it is. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and do that, or if you want to do it on Facebook or Tumblr or Reddit or wherever else you do social media stuff, you can just hit that share arrow right down here, and then you can send it out wherever you want to go. So I do appreciate y'all sharing the stuff we do. Let's get it started. So it is FTG Thursday. It'll be if you're driving, don't try to do some FTGs while you're driving, Trucking Bear. I got you. Okay. All right. So obviously, I think the biggest FTG of the day has to be the guy I put in the thumbnail, and not because he's a pro-choice advocate, because that's not it. Because I personally, I'm in that weird middle ground. I think abortion's a terrible thing, but I also don't think it should be illegal. I think there should be reasonable restrictions. And, you know, I'm not sure about the heartbeat law, and I'm not going to get into that because abortion politics are just messy. And I'm not here to be messy, but I am here to be concerned about how people treat other people. And so I am this dude, Brian Sims. Holy crap. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure most of you have seen it now, but we're still going to take a look at Brian Sims and his this lovely man. Okay, so here's my problem with Brian Sims, especially. Brian Sims is a state representative in the state of Pennsylvania. And I just would think that, you know, you'd have some kind of decorum as a state representative. You know, if this guy was some, you know, jag-off Antifa guy, maybe, even though I'd still think he was a jerk, I'd probably, and he'd still be an FTG, but just that when you're supposed to be representing people in your state. And he's getting a lot of flack for people who agree with him, too. So anyway, if you haven't seen this, of course, we're going to take a look at it right here. But before I do that, I'm going to say hi to Scrap. Scrappy, hey, how you doing? Now, who is... You must be new, or either that you've lurked in the shadows. You might have been in the shadows. Some people tend to go into the shadows, and that's fine. You know, as long as you're here, I am happy to see you. Let's see. Messy, by the time there is a heartbeat... There is a nervous system capable of interpreting. I know. I agree. That's why I'm not. I personally, I am. Let me put this. I am anti-abortion. I think it's a terrible thing. And my reality part of my brain says, well, somehow there's going to be people. It's nuance. I'm not a fan of it. Anyway, I'm gonna. Oh, okay, cool, great, cool. Oh yeah, that'd be me, Lawyer Dog. Okay. Anyway, let's watch Ding Dong here because he's a jackass, and we're just gonna go through it, and then we're gonna go through his apology, and then we'll see a couple other things about him. But here we go. Here's State Representative Brian Sims.
Hi everyone, Representative Brian Sims here, and I am outside the Planned Parenthood at southeastern Pennsylvania. Oh, no, they're leaving now. What we've got here is a bunch of protesters, a bunch of pseudo-Christian out here shaming young girls for being here.
Interesting. Now what happened there?
Anybody who will identify any of these three. So I'm going to donate to Planned Parenthood.
Okay, this is the second. This is part of the other one. Yeah, you can go ahead and start FTG in this guy right away.
Shaming people. There's nothing Christian about what you're doing.
Now, here's the interesting thing, though. Okay, look. Shaming people. What is he doing?
At all about what you're doing. Nothing Christian or loving or godly about what you're doing.
Oh, wow. This has been edited. He must have put up a new one. Now, hang on a second. That is weird. Okay, this is okay. Oh, this is someone else's version of it. Let me find one that has the whole thing. Let's see. Let me find here real quick. Somebody else had the whole thing up here. Or maybe it was just they were putting up. Anyway, by the way, the girls there that he's talking to.
$100 to anybody who.
Oh, here it is. This is the one.
Representative Brian Sims here, and I am outside the Planned Parenthood at southeastern Pennsylvania. Oh no, they're leaving now. What we've got here is a bunch of protesters.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Christian protesters who've been out here shaming young girls for being here. And so here's the deal. I've got $100.
I'm sorry, you can probably barely hear this. I'm gonna turn it up here.
So we're going to donate to Planned Parenthood. I'm going to donate to Planned Parenthood. So look, a bunch of white people standing up in front of a Planned Parenthood.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Brian Sims, you're a white people standing outside of Planned Parenthood, and apparently this girl is not white. I don't know what her ethnic. I don't know what her ethnic heritage is. She says she's not white. Whatever. But here's the thing.
Christian about what you're doing. Nothing Christian at all about what you're doing.
Okay, somehow it skipped the part
Christian
about where she was going to dox
them. So I've got $100 to anybody who will identify who this is. $100. See if you got some friends out here. $100. It'd be easier if you just give me your name and your address.
So the first girls, he said he was going to dox the girls too. Apparently, some people have found out kind of who they are, and apparently they're 13 and 15 years old. So he's out there threatening to dox teenagers and whatever, and obviously it doesn't look like these people are out there, harassing people.
Your job to tell women what's right for their bodies.
He's completely talking about, something they have a constitutional. You're protesting and harassing people for something they have a constitutional right. Here, stop this. Constitutional right to do when he's out there harassing people who are doing something they have a constitutional right to do. He's a real piece of work. Let's see if they got the other half of it here. Let's see here real quick. Find it. I had the whole thing. Hang on. But apparently what's happening now is that a bunch of people online are now... So anyway, let's get an FTG for Brian Sims. I've seen a couple already, but let's just give it another one right now. FTG for Brian Sims. I'll even throw one up there myself. And so I'm just going through. There's a bunch of people talking about this dude on Twitter, but we'll just read one article real quick. Let's do this one real quick. Now, this is National Review, obviously a right-leaning publication, just for disclosure purposes. Good morning, Irish Rose. How you doing? Good morning, Brian Mullins. See a couple more people jumping in. Political fanatics such as Representative Brian Sim fixate on terminology as a substitute for ideas. And for them, buzzwords are a necessary intellectual crutch. How do you explain Brian Sims? None of these three most likely possibilities: that he is not very bright, that he is insane, that he is a fanatic, speaks very well of the Pennsylvania state representative for whom some reason decided to accost an elderly woman praying silently in front of an abortion facility, to film the attack, and then to boast about it on Twitter. Now, I think he might have taken the one of chastising her down. But anyway, it is tempting to lean towards stupidity as an explanation for Sims' shenanigans, if only because that is the most statistically likely scenario when the subject in question is a member of the Pennsylvania state legislature, as witless a collection of moldering goofs and rampant mediocrities as you will find in any of our state capitals. But let's not give short shrift to the insanity option. Sims, who holds elected office and previously worked for the Philadelphia Bar Association, offering a cash bounty to his social media followers for identifying information with which to dox 3 teenage girls who were praying outside the same clinic. Mentally normal adult men do not go around photographing teenage girls and then trolling for their names on social media in order to facilitate harassing them. Generally, and now, this guy's a champion of women, and he wants to dox some teenage girls so they can be harassed. Brilliant. Generally speaking, adult men who go around taking photographs of teenage girls are considered creeps. Representative Sims is gay, which may spare him the charge of lechery in this matter, but his behavior is still pretty weird. The times being what they are, perhaps we should classify political fanaticism of the social media performance art variety as a kind of insanity. Political fanatics such as Sims live in the shadows between the idee fixe and outright monomania. The inferior kind, and Sims is the inferior kind, fixate on terminology as a substitute for ideas, and for them, buzzwords are necessary intellectual crutch. Hence, Sims' shouty accusations of white privilege in the face of a young woman who, as she pointed out with a smile, is not white. Intersectionality is a bitch. What should be remarkable, but is not remarkable about Sims' video is the superficiality and banality of his thinking. His political arguments are utterly sophomoric, e.g., demanding that the elderly lady interrupt her rosary to tell him how many unwanted children she is clothing and feeding. The taunt is childish. No one ever asks critics of capital punishment how many murders they're willing to bring into their home. The Pennsylvania state legislature is not the Olympus of politics, but even that repulsive body deserves better than this stuff. It would be tempting to describe this dorm room discourse, but most kindergartens don't have dormitories. So they're ripping him a good one here. And anyway, in short, this guy is the jackass FTG. All right, let's see what else other people on Twitter are saying about him real quick. Ultimate Coward. Oh, that's cute. Here, I'm your Huckleberry. Apparently, Candace O tweeted about him. Emma Michelle. Penn State Representative Brian Sim berated elder woman outside of Planned Parenthood. A result of campus free speech crisis. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to go to that one. But so now, here's the thing that he sparked, though. This is fascinating. So now, apparently, what's the guy's name? Walsh. Rob Walsh. I think he's on the Daily Wire. And a bunch of people have been tweeting at the guy. And so now they're going to have a huge pro-life rally against bullying. And with the hashtag Resign Brian Sims, Friday, May 10th. So tomorrow, they're going to hold a huge rally at that Planned Parenthood. And they're inviting Brian Sims to come down and bark at whoever he wants. I wonder if he'll show up. That's so fascinating. Or Matt Walsh, that's his name, Matt Walsh. So, yeah, this dude, a lot of people ask him to resign. Great champion of women's rights. We worship you for your oppression and intimidation of women who pray. Hypocrite. Oh, concerned citizen and neighbor. No, you jumped on the jerk off bandwagon. Nothing you did could be considered heroic or deserved. You chose to malign an elderly woman and young girls. If you are an example of professionalism, I'll stick with the janitors. Now I actually want to go and look at his apology though, because this is pretty bad too. So Brian Sims has apologized for what he did, but there's something about his apology. Let's see if we can find here. Let's just go over to his own here. Brian Sims. Where is he at? Here he is. Brian Sims. Now, where's the Brian Sims apology? Let's see if here we go. So let's watch his apology. Scrappy. Now I know. Let's just watch this jackass's apology. Yeah, let me do that, unmute that, and turn this up so you can hear it. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Representative Brian Sims here, and I'm actually up in our Capitol for this week's...
Oh, what'd I do there? That's me turning it up caused a problem. Hang on. We'll do it again. And we'll refresh. And we should be right back there. Brian Sims. Here we go. All right, let's try it again.
Hi, everyone. Representative Brian Sims here, and I'm actually up in our Capitol for this week's legislative session, but I stepped off the floor for a moment because I've received a lot of feedback about a video I posted last week, and I want to provide some background.
I know my music's too loud.
I've lived across the street or next door to this particular Planned Parenthood, one of the most heavily protested Planned Parenthoods in America for the last 15 years. I've seen men and women and teens try to go there for routine health care, for checkups, for pap smears, for breast exams, for STD screenings, and yes, for abortions. In fact, it's where I even treat for my own life-saving PrEP medication.
Oh, come on.
And I'm grateful for the services that they provide. I've also spent the last 7 years serving as a volunteer patient escort at this Planned Parenthood. And I have seen firsthand the insults, the slurs, the attacks, and the racism that those protesters...
Racism? Interesting. Racism? What the hell are you talking... Okay, first of all, the people he over there berating, were they even talking to people? Now, maybe they were handing out some flyers before, but whatever. All they were doing, as I saw, is they were there praying. So why is he talking about the attacks and the racism? Oh, my racism. You're such a champion, dude. You're such a champion. Good for you.
Aim at mostly young girls going there for clinical care. Care that those of us on the outside can never understand. And last week was no different. What I should have shown you in that video was protesters gathered together to pray at, not to silently pray for, people coming in and out of Planned Parenthood as they intercepted them and harassed them. In my years with Planned Parenthood, I've seen women and girls circle that block 2, 3, 4 times before finally driving away because they know that they weren't going to get in because of those protesters.
Didn't you say you've gone there as an escort? Now, I actually, a long time ago, when I first got married, there was a huge protest at a Planned Parenthood, and that was coming. I don't remember why they were having it this particular day, and even though I have mixed feelings about Planned Parenthood, we went and helped escort patients to that Planned Parenthood who were going there for things that had nothing to do with abortion. In fact, that clinic didn't do abortions on the day that they were having the protest. Now, the protesters really didn't pay much attention to the people entering the clinic. And surprisingly, because we were there shielding the umbrellas, they just basically granted, some protests can get what's the word I'm trying to say? Some of the protesters can get out of hand for things like that. I understand that, but on that particular day, they left the patients alone and were protesting the facility, and I can understand why someone would be intimidated, even if they were just going there to get birth control. Unruly. Thank you, Trucking Bear. My lips weren't working. They might, but they just didn't want to deal with these people. And fortunately, the people that were there protesting were very respectful of the patients and didn't bother them. And like I said, they were protesting the facility, not the people who were going there for whatever services they were going for. But in this case, that woman was just there doing a rosary, and he's up chirping in her face, threatening her for the most part, and then threatening to dock some teenagers. It's just ridiculous. Correct me if I'm wrong. Planned Parenthood is a Catholic organization who doesn't do any abortion. No. No, it's not. Now, let's not be silly. All you need, you are incorrect. Anyway.
But as a Planned Parenthood volunteer and as a supporter, I fully understand, respect, and appreciate the non-engagement policy that they have, and I would never want to do anything that interfered with the care that they're providing to their patients. As an activist and an advocate, I know why pushing back against harassment and discrimination are a must, even when they're uncomfortable. But last week, I wasn't a patient escort. I was a neighbor and a concerned citizen. And
so you can throw all that out the window. You notice what he's doing here? He's not apologizing to the people that he harassed. And he did harass them. He's apologizing to Planned Parenthood for not, for breaking their non-engagement policy. God, this guy's a dick.
I know that 2 wrongs don't make a right, and I can do better, and I will do better for the women of Pennsylvania.
Except for those teenage girls. Okay, so enough of Brian Sim, FTG, man, FTG. All right, so moving on. You know what? Now that was my main FTG. If you have other ones that I'm not highlighting today, you feel free to send them to my. You can direct DM me in Twitter. I'll check those out. You can also You could also send them to my email at that same thing right down there, pdogknight@gmail.com. And in fact, I should probably check my Gmail. Let's check my Gmail. See if there's anything in my Gmail. I'm supposed to be checking this more often than I do. Medium, same. Okay. All right. So there's nothing in my email. That's good. Ooh, an article on why Joe Biden shouldn't be America's next president. Interesting. We might have to read that. And let's check the old Twitters here. Okay. No. By the way, thank you, Truck and Bear, for retweeting the stream today. In fact, if you want to retweet the stream, I'm putting it back in there. Also in the chat, you can see the link for Super Chats via Streamlabs, which I have fixed and tested. In fact, somebody even sent me $1 while I was off not paying attention. So that was cool. Anyway, all right, now let's get into some headlines because that was really my only major FTG today. And kind of, actually what I'm going to do is we're going to go down through some of the headlines from my favorite source of headlines, the Ace of Spades blog, and we're going to check out a few. We might stop and browse a little bit. So let's see here. Let's just go down here. We're going to start with the category of congressional coup, Spygate, Deep State, the Mueller deception is what Ace calls it. Actually, who does these? It's not Ace. It's somebody named JJ Sefton does the morning headlines on the Ace blog. So here we go. Let's just check out we'll check out the headlines and we may pop into a story or two. So here we go. Moving here we go. So apparently Rand Paul slams Republican Richard Burr for the Don Jr. subpoena. Didn't get the memo. Case closed. Now that's interesting. Yeah, if you don't remember or you haven't heard yet, Richard Burr, who's a Republican from Kentucky, has asked for Don Jr. to come in to do more testimony, and we're not really sure why. Senator Rand Paul slamming Richard Burr, North Carolina GOP chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, for contradicting direct orders from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the Russia investigation and issuing a subpoena of Donald Trump Jr., despite McConnell's statement that the case is closed. Apparently the Republican chair of the Senate Intel Committee didn't get the memo from the majority leader that this case was closed. Well, Richard Burr is kind of in that kind of never Trump borderline there. Burr, as Breitbart News and other outlets reported late Wednesday, has issued a subpoena to Trump Jr., which the president's eldest son is electing to rebuff despite Trump Jr.'s history of open cooperation on the Russia investigation. Trump Jr. has been repeatedly cleared, as has the president himself. But Burr has been trying to keep the case alive, a contravention of McConnell's stated orders, and is now facing fierce backlash not just against himself, but all Senate Republicans. Paul is the first Senate Republican to stand up against this, but others are expected to join him quickly. So, yeah, Republicans are not happy with their intelligence chair, but, that's why. Senator Burr indulges Russia's gate conspiracies for shame. That's on the, what's this on? Human Events. Let's see if I can find a key phrase on this one. 2 years of having to listen to purportedly serious people entertain the idea that the president of the United States was a secret Russian spy. This was all nonsense. It was always nonsense. The Manchurian Candidate. But it's over. Or at least it should be. Oh, I had that up too loud right now. Or at least it should be. We now have the Mueller report, all 400 pages of it, and despite strenuous efforts of Robert Mueller to contort the obstruction of justice statutes to cover President Trump's behavior, we now have affirmative answers to the question posed by Rod Rosenstein back in May 2017. Those questions being, so why on earth did Richard Burr just subpoena Donald Trump Jr. to testify in the Senate's version of the Russiagate witch hunt? Trump Jr. has already testified for a total of more than 25 hours in front of 3 different committees. Trump Jr.'s testimony to the House Intelligence Committee was leaked to CNN within minutes, courtesy reasonable people suspect, of that one congressman with the strangely shaped neck. I wonder. Okay, chat. Who do you think he's talking about? And I'd love you to give him an FTG just because he is he. Oh my goodness! Oh, I got a super chat here. Or is it a new subscriber? It could be one or the other. Oh, there we go, Smarty Bear. Hey, thank you, Smarty Bear, with the $5 super chat. Some shekels for you. I greatly appreciate the shekels. Thank you so much. And oh, wait, who's this? Number one, nowhere. You're new too. How you doing? But you put in shitty. Oh, shifty. Adam shit for brains. Adam. There's all kinds of names. Yes, kids get an FTG for Adam Schiff. Good old pencil neck himself. So yeah, that's the Donald Trump Jr. subpoenas all the buzz. Let's see. Here's one. Here's a good one too. I haven't read any of these, but we're gonna just pop into get a key paragraph out of each one. This is out of the New York Post. Why Jerry Nadler's constitutional crisis talk is utter bull. Now here's the interesting thing. In fact, I'm gonna find the tweet real quick here because I thought this was rather fascinating. Here, let's go to mine here. Tweets and replies. And his name is... So, where is it? Hello. So, CNN. And I'm bringing up CNN real quick. What is CNN supposed to be? It's supposed to be a news channel, and it is supposed to employ... What's that word? Oh yes, journalists. So yesterday, the House of Representatives Judicial Committee voted. It was whatever. It was a straight party line vote to recommend Bill Barr being in contempt of Congress. Right? So the committee did. Now, Chris Cillizza, who is supposed to be a journalist, but he does work for CNN, so that's always questionable. You understand that. Chris Cillizza decides to tweet this. Bill Barr is now in contempt of Congress, which basically means nothing. Now, most people in journalism, especially if they spend most of their time covering the United States government, most people would learn that a vote in a committee is not the final say on something like this. So he says Bill Barr is now in contempt of Congress. Is he? Let's see what he wrote in the articles. I never even clicked the articles. I actually wrote back to him. I said, wait a minute, something's just a little off here. Do you know what it is? Who knows? No. He's not in contempt of Congress yet. Now, they might find him in contempt of Congress, but I think there has to be at least one more vote, right? Okay, so here's his article. The House Judiciary Committee just voted Bill Barr in contempt of Congress, which means basically nothing. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee voted Attorney General William Barr in contempt of Congress for his refusal to turn over the full unredacted report which would be illegal. They found him in contempt of Congress for following the law. Good morning, Lord Rothschild. How you doing? For the full indictment report regarding Russian interference in the 2016 election, produced by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Big deal. Barr is in real trouble now, right? Oh, he is not. Well, Chris, at least you got that right. No, he's not in trouble. He is not. There are actual punishments for being in contempt of Congress. The Senate or House Sergeant at Arms can detain the contemptuous person, but in practical terms, none of them will be visited upon by the Attorney General. He's not going to be jailed for not turning over the full Mueller report, which he says he can't legally do because it contains grand jury testimony that is illegal to make public without the permission of the witnesses. And even if Congress did ask the White House to authorize a criminal contempt charge for Barr, there's roughly a 0 chance that President Donald Trump would agree to it. Well, yeah, it's grandstanding. It's grandstanding. And, of course, what he also seems to miss here, and how I can't believe he's missing this, the vote would have to go to the full House of Representatives. Like it did for Attorney General Eric Holder. The other part of this thing that just is so maddening is this is an awfully quick jump into the abyss of crap. Good morning, Johnny Hellcat. How you doing? First of all, what the Jerry Nadler and the House Democrats are asking for is something they already have. They already have the full Mueller report. Now, yes, there are redactions, most of which are required by law. And as fast as things leak out of the House, do you really, 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 really think that you want to just put that whole thing there? I mean, that's all they want. They are desperate for anything they can do to cast the president in a bad light. This is a political... it's funny how Donald Trump was using the word witch hunt for so long because, I didn't necessarily like the terminology, but now it is just becoming a witch hunt, trying to they're just trying to stretch this out as long as they can. And it's really disheartening but also not necessarily unexpected. I think also what they're trying to do is they're trying to get ahead of the other things that are going to come out that have been completely in the public domain. I mean, you would find these things if you actually looked for them. And especially if you listen to testimony from any of the hearings whatsoever, that, now they got to take a look at why this investigation started, how it started. And I think you're going to see, as you start looking at the things that are already out there, that this is kind of a setup if you think about it. I mean, they've had undercover FBI agents that were chasing around, Trump campaign people. They supposedly had someone embedded in the campaign. They, the fake dossier, which was used to get a FISA warrant, and they used this fake dossier to get a FISA warrant. The dossier was paid for by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign. They can document that, and they used a person who worked for British intelligence, who was an FBI asset but got fired as an FBI asset because he was so unreliable, and who also made statements about how much he wanted to not have Donald Trump be president. And they got They paid for information from Russians. You want to talk about Russian collusion or working with a foreign power to affect an election. That's all they've talked about. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Anyway, Chris Cillizza, though, of all people, I went on a tangent there, obviously. Chris Cillizza, of all people, should know that the House Judiciary Committee just voted Bill Barr in contempt of Congress, which means nothing because he's not. The whole House has to vote on it before he's actually considered in contempt of Congress. Now, I'm not sure. I can't remember if the Senate has to vote on that or not. I don't know if the president has to sign it or not. I don't care. No, I don't think they do. I think only the House has to vote on it. But the entire House has to vote on it. Chris Cillizza, you dummy. Anyway, where was I? Back to the constitutional crisis talk. Why it's utter bull. So Democrats have moved from conspiracies about Russia to conspiracies about the report, debunking the conspiracy. After a week of histrionics about Attorney General Bill Barr, who had offended Democrats and their media allies by writing a letter that accurately laid out the findings of the special counsel's 2 years investigation before releasing it, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler began demanding the release of the unredacted report. The White House has asserted executive privilege. Now, and you know what? Someone was saying, oh, well, you can't exert executive privilege because they've already had the investigation and you've already had this, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking maybe executive privilege over things that are ongoing investigations that the executive branch, aka the executive branch, the FBI, the Department of Justice, that's all under the executive branch. And they have privileged information on ongoing investigations related to the case. So they probably can assert executive privilege in this case on those things that are redacted. And it doesn't necessarily mean executive privilege of Donald J. Trump. It means executive privilege of the executive branch, of which the Department of Justice and the FBI are a part of. So, yes, they can exert executive privilege on some of the redacted things. And that the grand jury testimony cannot be released by law. Unless they want to go try and change the law, go ahead and write a bill, try to change the law. Then you got to get the House to vote for it. Then you got to get the Senate to vote for it. Then you got to get the president to sign it. If you change the law, the grand jury testimony is up for grabs. Did I say good morning to Faithless? I don't know if I did, but good morning, Faithless. How you doing? All right. Though the law clearly places discretion over the redaction with the Attorney General, Nadler claimed assertion had triggered a constitutional crisis. And committee Democrats quickly moved ahead with a contempt vote. Actually, some Democrats aren't even content with simply holding Barr in contempt. They want to arrest the Attorney General. Its day in the sun is coming, Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland said this week. We have some precedent here. In 2012, Attorney General Eric Holder was the first U.S. Attorney General in history to be held in both criminal and civil contempt. Gee, what happened to him? Nothing. The Obama administration refused to hand over specific documents that pertain to specific law enforcement endeavors. Operation Fast and Furious had cost lives, and yet the Obama administration wouldn't hand over memos that likely contradicted Holder's sworn testimony on the matter. Instead, they asserted executive privilege. I don't remember Holder being led away in handcuffs. Do any of you remember that? I'm positive that Eric Holder never got taken away in handcuffs, never went to jail, never had to sit in front of the committee because he refused to testify after that happened. Anyway, It's all an act, of course, meant to create a perception that Barr, in cahoots with Trump, is hiding the findings of Mueller's unimpeded and open-ended investigation. For Democrats, instigating a contempt vote over a lightly redacted report is the best way to pretend we are living through another Watergate. Ding! I forgot I had a bell. I could do a real ding. In the real world, the notion that a Trump antagonist like Mueller has buried vital evidence implicating the president in conspiracy or obstruction deep within the now redacted sections of his report is dizzyingly silly. From the looks of it, Mueller spent more time describing Trumpian outbursts than looking for Russian interference. Speaking of which, I'm waiting for some congressman in some hearing in the near future, probably when Robert Mueller testifies in, he's testifying later this month, actually. I'm waiting for somebody in that testimony to ask Robert Mueller, did we ever get to see those servers that the Russians supposedly hacked? Did we ever actually have the FBI? Did the FBI's own analysts ever examine those servers? And of course, we all know. Well, we don't. Maybe you don't know this, but the answer to that question is no. They never have. Do you know where they got their information about the servers and where they're saying that the Russians hacked the Democratic National Committee servers and what's his face? John Podesta's emails. Do you know who gave that information? Well, the Democratic National Committee hired their own contractor to examine their servers, a company called CrowdStrike. And their own contractor called CrowdStrike is the only company that has ever looked at them. And they gave their information to the FBI. Now, let's think about this for a second. Let's say it was the other way around. Let's say, for example, Donald Trump made a claim that the Chinese, after Hillary Clinton made the joke about the Chinese, trying to go after his tax returns, and Donald Trump made the claim that somebody was hacking his servers at one of his buildings that had his tax returns on them. And as evidence, Donald Trump goes out and hires some private, tech firm and says, you know what? Show us where the Chinese hacked our servers. And then they went in there, and the company he hires, his own contractor, goes in and miraculously comes up with evidence that the Chinese hacked his servers. And they gave it to the FBI. And the FBI said, okay, we'll just use this. We're not going to go check these out yourself because the Trump wouldn't let him. The FBI do it. He said, nope, you got to use my contractor. My contractor has all the information. You don't need anything else. Do you think that the Democrats would complain that the FBI can't substantiate that claim that the servers were hacked by the Chinese? So let's go back to the actual story here. So the DNC hired a company called CrowdStrike, who is their own contractor that says that they were hacked by the Russians, and they gave information. They said to the FBI, well, how do you know they hacked? Well, our company CrowdStrike did this. They told us. Now let's say they could, for somehow. I'm going into my own lawyer dog impression here. Even though I am not a lawyer, I only play one on the internet. I am not a lawyer. Now, let's say, for example, that Robert Mueller has indicted several Russian generals in relation to the email hacking part. And let's say that thing went to court. So the FBI comes to court and says, yes, these are the Russians who hacked the DNC servers. And okay, so you have to have evidence for that, right? Well, what's your evidence? Well, the DNC hired this company, and they said that the Russians hacked these computers. And the judge or whatever would say, well, did FBI, did you examine them with your analyst? Do you know that this information is true? And the FBI would have to say, no, we never examined the servers ourselves. The DNC would not allow us to examine them. Do you know how fast that case would be over? There's a who is it? There's a YouTube channel. A gentleman named H.A. Goodman wrote a book. I'll have to dig up that book. I'll put it in the description down below when I get a chance. But he's written a couple books about this. And in fact, most of the old NSA, retired NSA people, there's a whole group of them that really have a question about, okay, when did the Russians supposedly hack this server? That's a question nobody asks because everyone's assumed, all you hear, Russia, 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 Russia. Everyone assumes, and even the report says, makes a claim that the Russians hacked the DNC and supposedly went and hacked started to hack Hillary Clinton after Trump made a joke at a excuse me, when we made a joke at a rally. Russia, if you're listening, can you find Hillary Clinton's 30,000 lost emails? And the report says, oh yeah, and after 5 hours later, for the very first time, there was evidence of Russians trying to hack into Hillary Clinton's systems. Except one problem. The server that the emails were supposedly on had already been destroyed a year earlier. So what systems were they talking about? That part of the report still doesn't make sense to me. I want them, and as I've said many, many times, if they did or they didn't, if let's just say that all that is fine and dandy, and they have the evidence. This is my question, the biggest question I have to ask. How do you quantify the effect of the Russian interference? How many votes did it change? How many people did they say it? Oh, the Facebook ads by that troll farm that they also have indicted. How many votes did those Facebook ads change? Because they keep saying, oh, it had this many millions of impressions. Well, it's a Facebook ad. It'll show up in the corner of your screen. In fact, if you're looking at this, for example, you're looking at this page that I have on the screen here. How many of you have even looked at what's trending on the right side of this page, or any of the ads that have come on here? There's ads that you pass hundreds of ads on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the social media all the time. How often do you look at even notice the ads? I don't know. I hardly ever. I might, unless it's like sometimes the Amazon ads where it's something that has to do with camera equipment, I might go, oh yeah, I'm okay, interested in that. But I'm certainly not looking at the any of those ads like the Buff Bernie coloring book. That was the best one. I wish I'm going to find an article one of these days on all the ads. I want to see those Facebook ads and how terrible they were. We'll pull one up one day. Okay, I've gone way, way longer on this than I meant to do. Remember Hillary's fire and the fire at Trump Tower? Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Many sources say it had no impact. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, that's, in fact, and I can't remember if that was in the report or not, but when everyone says it had no impact, and the vice president of Facebook laughed because they only spend they spend like $40,000 on ads. I mean, Facebook does $5 billion in advertising a year. And so 40,000 or whatever ridiculously small amount of ads they put on there supposedly affected our election, especially when half the ads ran after the election. Are you kidding me? Hillary Clinton spent $1.3 billion, just her campaign raised and spent $1.3 billion. And $40,000 worth of Russian really bad Facebook ads supposedly made her lose the election? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's nuts. But hey, you know what? Let's just keep talking about Russia. The more we talk about Russia, the less things the Democrats bring to the floor of the House and vote on that are worth a damn. By the way, I do have my reparations coffee here, and I think it's time for a sip. If you got a cup, hey, take a drink with me right now. So good. It's kind of cold though, because I've been sitting here for a while. But anyway, hello Shiagraph. I see you came in. Wait, top 10 things you must know. Number 7 will shock you. Yeah. I mean, they were troll farm, man. They had things. I mean, one was a Black Lives Matter rally. They set up a Black Lives Matter rally. In fact, I think, was it Sean King or one of those two, either him or DeRay McKesson, one of them attended the rally that was set up by the Russians, but that was after the election. Anyway, let's see if there's any other things I want to check out here real quick. We're going to skip premises. Let's see. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals rules in favor of Trump administration on asylum policy. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what this one says. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Tuesday ruled that the Trump administration can continue to send Central American migrants back to Mexico while their requests for asylum in the U.S. are adjudicated. A 3-judge panel struck down the lower court's preliminary injunction blocking the policy, allowing it to continue on a temporary basis while the court considers broader issues in the case. That's fascinating, probably because the executive branch has leeway on all immigration issues, and they know that the higher courts are going to strike these things down. So there you go. The decision from the San Francisco-based appeals court was a surprise victory for the White House, as the administration has lost several other immigration-related rulings from the left-leaning court in the past. According to Politico, Judge Diarmund O'Scanlan, an appointee of former President Ronald Reagan, authored the 11-page opinion and wrote that the administration was likely to succeed on legal challenges to the policy under federal immigration regulatory law. O'Scanlan also said that the Homeland Security Department could face harm if a federal court orders freezes one of its enforcement tools. Yeah, especially no, Lord Rothschild, disavow. We don't shoot. We're not shooting anybody. Anyway, the ninth gets overturned so much they probably just don't want to be overturned, and also because right now the border's insane. It's insane down there. Their processing facilities are full completely. They're trying to process 4,000. Is it 4,000 a week or whatever? They said 1,000 a week or 1,000 a month. Below 1,000 they can handle. Above 1,000 overwhelms them, and they're getting 4,000 a month. They are really, they're really stuck right now. So anyway, all right. It is 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock, wherever you live, it's the time of day when we normally hit into Twitter trends. So let's check out what's going on Twitter. We'll find out what people are talking about today and what people will be talking about in the near future, as in later today. So let's get into Twitter trends real quick. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, number one. It's a Thursday thing. Thursday thoughts as opposed to Thursday thoughts. Let's see what the number one Thursday thought is today. Yes, 11 a.m. in the East, where you live, Sarah. The number one Thursday thought is by someone named Ben Malky. Thursday thoughts. You can pray while you work. Work doesn't stop prayer, and prayer doesn't stop work. It requires only that small raising of the mind to God. I love you, God. I trust you. I believe in you. I need you now. Small things like that, they are wonderful prayers. Well, there you go. If you are a person who prays, that is a good thing. It's you can pray where you can pray anywhere. So there you go. Let's see here. Let's see if you can get this right this morning. Thursday thoughts. Can you answer this question without using yeah, yes, yap, yeah, yeah? Do you need money? Of course. That was easy. That was too damn easy. Of course. Yeah, Yarp. Sorry. Of course I do. Let's see. This Thursday thought, some dude going, oh, dude. Okay, hang on. Look at this. This dude's look at this dude riding the bike down the mountain here. These guys are nuts. Look at this shit. Oh, drop. And okay. That course is not quite as insane as some I've seen. Oh, dude, now he's flipping around. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Look at this nonsense. Is my music still going? Oh, shoot.
To slow down and compose yourself for this section. Now we've seen a lot of cases here.
Oh.
But Andreu extends the Superman, flips the step. No way. Andreu Lakondegi, one more opportunity for a big trick, a flat spin, 450 looking back. Look at that. Sticks it right in the corral. Lakondegi taps into a sixth gear here at the 2018 Rampage.
All right. Those are the Red Bull crazy people. Okay, so that's definitely a thought for the day. All right, let's see if there's a good thing. Okay, here we go. When writing, okay, there you go. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. Yeah, write your own story, man. Write your own story. All right, that's the Thursday thought of the day. Let's move on. Chris Hughes is number 2. Facebook founder Chris Hughes saying it's time to break up the company. He explains in a video op-ed. Should we watch this? Hey. Oh, that's a picture of him and Mark. Okay, let's well, is this the video op-ed? Let's see what Chris Hughes has to say about breaking up Facebook. This may be worth the time we take on it. Hang on.
This is me back in my college days. And this is my roommate, Mark. Together, we founded Facebook in 2004. Now, 15 years later, I think Facebook has grown too big and too powerful. Every week brings new headlines about privacy violations, election interference, or mental health concerns.
Election interference. God. Let's continue.
I haven't been at the company in over a decade, but I feel a sense of responsibility to account for the damage done. Americans have the power to right the ship through government action. We need new regulations.
Okay, now is where I get nervous. Because when companies, now he says he hasn't been with them for 10 years, but when the big companies start asking for regulations, that's not a good thing either. Because now they become this behemoth that makes it too hard for other people to get into that business. All right, let's listen. I'm going to listen first. Here we go.
It's time to break up Facebook. The early days of Facebook tell a classic American story of innovation and entrepreneurship. From our college dorm room, we started a little social network for our friends that exploded in popularity and connected the world. Mark's hustle in those early years made it possible for Facebook to dominate our rivals like Friendster, MySpace, Tumblr, and many others. These competitors...
Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'll save it. FTG, I hear ya.
made us better.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. Can I get an FTG for Mark Zuckerberg? It is FTG Thursday. Drop an FTG for good old Mark.
And then we beat them out. This is how it's supposed to work in America. Hard work leads to economic success. You start a small business and compete on the merits to provide a better product. Today, nearly 3 billion people use Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
Isn't that crazy? Between those three apps, there are 3 billion users. Even if they weren't all unique. The planet right now is like 7.5 billion or something like that, or coming on 8 billion, I think. Almost 3 billion use those 3 apps. That's frightening. That's frightening how much power this company can have. And just the fact that now they're trying to say what you can think on Facebook really pisses me off. Really does. Anyway, hang on.
And they're all owned and controlled by the same company. Of every dollar spent buying ads on social media, 84 cents goes to Facebook. It's now worth over $500 billion. That's roughly the size of the GDP of the bottom 65 countries in the world combined. It's not just that Facebook is a really big social network, it's everything. When a single company dominates any market, they become susceptible to abusing their power.
Oh, maybe he's seeing the light here because he hasn't been with Facebook for 10 years. I might just be liking where this is going. I just might. We'll see. Let's see where he goes with this.
Social networking is like most other American industries. There used to be plenty of healthy competition, but now many industries are controlled by just 1 or 2 companies.
You know, the other part of this too, what he's not saying is how they use your data, and he hasn't brought that up yet. That's a problem. That's a problem. All right, here we go.
Companies often create an illusion of choice. You think there are hundreds of beer brands out there, but they're all made by 1 or 2 companies. Why is this a problem? Well, when companies get too big...
Okay, this guy hasn't had a beer in a while. There's a bar right by my house. They have 32 beers on tap from 20 different breweries, all Minnesota brewed, all little private breweries. There's tons of breweries. He hadn't had beer for a while. Of course, the big beers, obviously, Miller, Budweiser. Those are the 2 big ones that own a lot of the other companies. Heineken owns several other of the companies. But you know what? There's tons of beer companies. Anyway, here we go. The quality beers come from the little guys, though. So maybe he's got a point there.
They get sloppy and careless. And that leads to things like poor privacy practices, enabling foreign actors to meddle in elections.
Fuck off with that foreign meddler bullshit. I'm sorry. That's the one part where I'm going, y'all been brainwashed by this conspiracy theory. And it... Oh my gosh. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because then it's not Hillary's fault that she lost. And that's what that whole conspiracy is about. Let's go on. Continue.
Spread of violent rhetoric, fake news, and the unbounded drive to capture more of our data and attention.
Okay, so there's the part there. More of our data. The other stuff is just, too much free speech. Too much free speech. Too many people can say what they want. Anyway, but the part of here, I'm going to go back to that again. Right here. Here we go.
Actors to meddle in elections, the spread of violent rhetoric, fake news, and the unbounded drive to capture more of our data and attention. I often hear people say, I'm shutting down my Facebook account. Thank God for Instagram. Not realizing that Instagram is owned by Facebook. People are powerless in this situation because there's nowhere else to go. Monopolies stifle innovation. Facebook snatches up competitors by buying them before they get too big, or by copying their innovations. Despite all the money and hype being poured into...
I wonder if he's trying to start his own new network now that he has been with Facebook for 10 years. Interesting. I bet he still owns a lot of... I'm sure he owns plenty of Facebook stock, though. Anyway, let's go.
New startups. There hasn't been a single major social media platform launched since 2011. The harm goes beyond the economy.
Well, yeah, not a major one, although there are other ones that keep getting, it's funny because the regulations that they probably want here are going to make it harder for other ones to start. But you got like Minds. I'm on Minds. I'm on Gab. I'm on, I'm not on Tumblr. I have a Reddit account. I've never used it. But, there's some others that are doing decent. Not huge, but decent. Anyway.
Though, it goes to democracy itself. When companies become empires, people are stripped of power. Facebook's employees write complex rules called algorithms that decide what you see in your newsfeed. Facebook can decide what messages get delivered and which don't, and what exactly makes for violent or inappropriate content.
But I thought they could. I thought they don't do that. Oh, I thought they didn't do that. Oh, but they do. They're so full of shit. Anyway,
even Mark himself has said that he and the Facebook team have too much power over speech. Facebook does have a board of directors, but Mark owns the majority of the shares. Unlike the leader of a democracy, there are no checks and balances on Facebook. Mark has no boss, and he cannot be fired. Listen, it'd be great if Mark could fix this himself, but this, ironically, is a problem he cannot solve. We need the government to intervene with two steps. First, the Facebook empire needs to be broken up. America's regulated corporate empires before, and we can do it again. This isn't unprecedented. And surprisingly,
I want them to tell me what that accomplishes, though. I mean, seriously, what would it accomplish to break up, say, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram? Anyone got an opinion on that in the chat? I have no idea. What would that do? Well, maybe he'll tell us. Let's see what he says.
Often boost the value of these companies in the long run. Federal Trade
Okay, it'll boost the value of the companies. Well,
Commission can force Facebook to unwind its acquisitions of WhatsApp and Instagram. Then we'll see real competition around social media and digital messaging. Breaking up Facebook...
Well, what does that do? Thanks, Sarah. We'll see you later. You break them up, it doesn't mean that they won't... I mean, does it take away their ownership of those things? I'm still questioning what that means anyway.
Isn't a punishment for its economic success. It's a way to guarantee that other new companies...
Sorry about that.
...can compete. We also need a new government agency to protect Americans from the overreach of Facebook and other companies like it. Think about it. We don't trust airlines or pharmaceutical companies to...
We already have the FTC... And I'm trying to think what I don't know which agency would regulate Facebook though. I don't know. Anyway,
regulate themselves. And we shouldn't trust social media companies either. We need basic privacy protections and the ability for people to move their data around as they please. Right now, Facebook makes free speech decisions on its own with little accountability. Instead,
which there's this believe what we believe or you're banned.
Guidelines, not Facebook employees in Menlo Park. I don't think Mark's a bad guy. And I've made this decision to speak out because I feel a sense of responsibility for what Facebook has become. And, to be honest, I'm angry that Mark's obsession with growth led him to sacrifice security for clicks. I think we all want to live in a country where David can take on Goliath, where a kid with a smart idea in a dorm room can start a billion-dollar company. We've strayed from that ideal, and breaking up and regulating Facebook will help put us back on that path.
Okay, that's interesting. And I'm going to get a strike for that because the music in the background that I didn't realize was there till just now. All right, so that's why Chris Hughes is trending. See what the reaction on here is. Must see Facebook. Chris Hughes founder calls for government to break up social media giant. It's time to do to Facebook what I did to New Republic by Chris Hughes. Oliver Willis. Chris Hughes calling on government to break up Facebook. For me, it's like an op-ed from Ebony Ma calling on the Avengers to stop Thanos. If only Chris Hughes owned a magazine, a journal of ideas, say with which he could make this argument on a regular basis. Elizabeth Warren thinks Chris Hughes is right. Let's see if there's any other politicians. In a well-orchestrated rollout, New York Times op-ed, NPR interview, etc., Facebook co-founder Chris Hughes says it's time to break up Facebook and hold Zuckerberg accountable. I wonder if there's bad blood between him and Zuckerberg. Because, you know, he left the company, basically. Want to delete Facebook? You're not the only one. Its co-founder, Chris Hughes, called for the tech giant to be broken up in an op-ed in the New York Times, saying Mark Zuckerberg's power is unprecedented in his ability to monitor, organize, censor conversation of 2 billion people. Yeah, okay. I think there's bigger problems with Facebook than the fact that they're too big. Although they do have way too much power in the world. Anyway. All right, moving on. Trend number 4 is Thursday motivation. We're skipping that. Trend number 3. Number 4, the hashtag I'm okay really means, I'm sure there'll be some funny ones here. Let's check it out. Sometimes I'm okay really means something else. Mental health challenges like depression and anxiety aren't always obvious. Here's what to look for and how to find help. Okay, that's a good message. A lot of times we think about our physical health, but we don't always think of our mental health. And, sometimes people just need help. Sometimes just going and seeing a doctor. Doctors are trained in a lot of mental health aspects. And if it's something they're not trained in, they can certainly refer you to something else. So even if you're not, sometimes you just talk to your doctors sometimes, okay? I'm okay means I don't want you to worry about me because there's nothing you can do to help me. Oh, that's sad. So this is, I think, I wonder how this hashtag started. Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, that's part of the Thursday Thoughts. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so sometimes I'm okay is just a way to cope and keep you... What is this dude doing? I'm sorry, I got distracted. I'm okay means I need my paint supplies, a joint, and for the music to be jacked all the way up. Anyway, there's a lot of different ways you can get help for different issues like depression and other mental health issues. I'm okay really means, good morning, everyone. I'm standing in for the lovely Cheryl, blah, blah, blah. Today on hashtag Roundup powered by hashtag Game. Let's play I'm okay really means that my friends and I need an attorney ASAP. All right, enough of that. We're moving on. Although I saw Samuel L. Jackson there. All right, number 5. Oh, Putin's GOP. Oh, the Democrats and leftists are having a temper tantrum again. What about Putin's GOP? It's let's see. Voter ID laws might make it harder for Russians to vote. I doubt Putin's GOP would go for that. What? If the Dems put voter IDs into those protections, I bet he would be more than happy to vote on them. Okay, what was he saying? Okay, something about Mitch McConnell continue to block any bills concerning protecting our elections. Republicans or Dems should be concerned. Republicans welcomed help, didn't deter it. So unwillful ignorance. Read the report. It's not as flattering as you would like to portray. What's that in reference to? Okay, just the Russian collusion thing. What else there? Putin's GOP. Putin's GOP less than Nazis DNC. Okay. You know what? I'm sorry. I am just so tired of people breaking Godwin's law. Stop mentioning Nazis and stop calling people Hitler. I don't care on either side. Okay? I'm tired of people being called fascists. Although there are some of these groups that exert fascist behaviors. But whatever. Anyway, this is one of those, temper tantrum hashtags that you just get tired of. I'm done looking at it already. Forever Buffs. What is this? Could it be something about, commencement at the graduating Buffs celebrating on a snowy day, May commencement 2019. So these are apparently Forever Buffs is trending and it has something to do with the University of Colorado commencement. And they got it to trend. So, hey, hello. Lots of happy graduates at the University of Colorado, which, they're all over the country right now at different colleges and universities. In fact, how soon? What's the date? May 9th. In 20 days, my son is graduating from college. And that'll be my last one. Woo. I can't wait. We just got a raise, honey. Lady Boomer. Oh, you're not here. She's not here. We just got a raise. Okay, moving on. Pro Jared. Oh, this is okay. Apparently this is some kind of YouTube, Twitter drama. Apparently, Pro Jared cheated, people using Pro Jared being a cheater to say JonTron isn't racist. Well, but why is JonTron? Oh, because JonTron has said words. JonTron fans reacting to the Pro Jared drama. I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at infidelity and abuse. You can excuse racism? Okay, maybe I don't know enough about JonTron. Is there something that makes JonTron a racist that I don't know about? I thought he was just some goofy gamer dude on YouTube. I don't follow that particular line of drama. So, waking up to the Pro Jared shitstorm starter pack. Okay, here we go. This maybe tells you the story. I recently learned that here we go. I recently learned that my husband, Pro Jared, has been fucking Holly Conrad behind my back for months. I have no idea what announcement he just made because he blocked me. He blocked his own wife. Okay, this is the starter pack for this drama, which I don't know any of these people. I've heard of JonTron. Maybe Pro Jared is a pro gamer or something like that. I don't know, but this is just hilarious to me, so let's check out the drama. Page 2 of the Pro Jared starter pack. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm here for you if you need me. Bruh moment. This person's replying. Wait, hold on. She's replying to Pro Jared. Oh, that's Holly Conrad. So she learned that her her husband, Pro Jared, has been fucking Holly Conrad behind her backs for months, and Holly Conrad writes to Pro Jared, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm here for you if you need me. Yeah, I bet you are, baby. If he been hitting that. She my thought of the day. Oh, and this is Pro Jared, where who's here for the nudes? Who's here for nudes? And the last part, Austin Hargrave, whoever that is, replying to these people, this ain't it, Chief. Don't you think this is a bad idea? No, it's the painful truth I've lived through. Jared abused me, gaslit me, and lied to everyone else about it, including his therapist. I am not going to hide that for the sake of his reputation. Okay, we got some. Okay, this is actually trending on Twitter. This whole thing. Pro Jared rating his affair with Holly be like, okay. Okay, and somehow John tries about this is some of that YouTube drama stuff that I just don't necessarily follow, and so I don't know about it. But hey, go on the Pro Jared hashtag and get caught up. I'm moving on. Piccolo Day. Why is Piccolo trending? In honor of Piccolo Day, I want to remind niggas of how cold this man used to be. I really hope he gets a power up soon so he can be lit again. Apparently that's an anime character that I don't know anything about, so I'm moving on. Yes, I am too old for that. Okay, Red Sox are tweeting. What? Okay, so move over, Red Sox. The Red Sox are the new World Series champs. Okay, you know what? Who cares? White House misspells Boston Red Sox as Red Sox ahead of visit because the World Series champs are going to visit the White House. And so he wrote the Red Sox. You know, anyone seen the White Sox games today? Are the Boston Red Sox playing anywhere? What about the Yankees? Oh, like hankies. How are the Marlins ranked right now? What about the triplets? No, it's the Twins. Yeah, it's funny though. Personally, I'm rooting for the Brewers. Is it the Brewers? Yes. Okay. So Trump misspells shit. Who cares? All right. But again, that's one of those things. If Trump tweets something, and especially something like that, it's going to trend on Twitter because you got to do some Trump, right? All right. There you go. Lake Lanier. Why is Lake Lanier breaking? Officials say there's no longer a search and rescue. They'll be working today to find the bodies of two men who went missing after a two-boat crash on Lake Lanier. The 60 and 39-year-old men were neighbors and were fishing on the lake. Live reports, Good Day Atlanta. So that's something happening down in Atlanta. Two fishermen missing after a boat crash on Lake Lanier. The news there to show you where crews are searching for them on Channel 2 Action News this morning. So apparently some people got, a couple fishermen lost their lives on Lake Lanier. That's trending because it's Atlanta. Valerie Plame, why the hell's... Oh gosh. Everyone remember Valerie Plame, the former CIA agent that they made a big deal about because someone had leaked her name and they were trying to blame it on Dick Cheney. And it ended up that they knew who leaked her name the whole time, but that was a big scandal. Well, she has filed a run for Congress in New Mexico. Good for her. I'm going to guess she's running as a Democrat. Let's just check it out. Valerie Plame has officially filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run for Congress in New Mexico. The former CIA operative who became famous when her identity was leaked by an official in charge in the George W. Bush administration will run in the state's 3rd congressional district, which will be vacated by Representative Ben Ray Lujan, Democrat in New Mexico, as he is running for the Senate in 2020. In early April, Plame said she was entertaining the idea of running after previously suggesting she might seek the Senate. Right now, I'm going around and meeting with people, Plame said at the time. I have a lot to learn, and I would like another opportunity to serve my country. All right. Let's see if they. I'm just scanning through here. She's also married to Joseph Wilson. Let's see. And supposedly they blamed Robert Novak at first, but he wasn't the one who. They were trying to say Scooter Libby leaked her name, and Scooter Libby went to jail, and then they figured out that it was not Scooter Libby who leaked her name. So anyway, Richard Armitage actually did. So anyway, it was a messy case at the time, and so there you go. She's running for Congress. Yippee, skip to my Lou. And Danny Baker's trending because is he making fun of Harrison's name, or what's the kid's name? They named the kid. Oh no! BBC radio host Danny Baker has been fired after posting a racist tweet about Harry and Meghan's new baby. What would that racist tweet be? Oh, not cool. Broadcaster Danny Baker fired from BBC Radio 5 live after tweeting royal baby image of a chimpanzee. Dude, that's not cool. You know, okay. That's not cool. Let's see. All right, so he's trending now. Hey, maybe. I wonder if it's just a symptom of the Trump era. I'm sure I'm waiting for the first person to say that. I'm waiting for in fact, let's just scroll through to see if anyone. Remember, this is a BBC radio host. A BBC radio host. He's been sacked. People who won't comment. Oh, there you go. Nigel Farage. Hi, BBC. I won't comment on the dismissal of Danny Baker, but I draw your attention to Nigel Farage proudly standing in front of his overtly racist Breaking Point poster. He's on BBC Question Time tonight. Please explain why he still appears on your network. Yeah, that's... Oh, God. People are going to be coming out with stupid hot takes, and there's your number one hot take on that. You know what? I'm not in Great Britain. I don't care. Jamar Taylor's probably... he's a nickelback, going to be traded to the Seahawks. I don't care. Ben Watson, tight end Ben Watson, visiting Patriots. Okay, great. Richard Burr. Richard Burr is the Republican senator who has subpoenaed Trump Jr. So there's going to be a standoff there. Trump Jr. says, F you. I don't know what Bensick is. Bensick, what is that? Is this something? A phenomenal match between Belinda Bensick and Naomi Osaka. Oh, a tennis player. Okay. Oh, she beat Osaka. No, she didn't. She lost. Did she beat Osaka or did she lose to Osaka? I don't know. Oh, she won. All right. So, not familiar with her. I don't follow women's tennis as closely as I used to. And Alabama Senate. Oh, what's happening in the Alabama Senate? Okay, that's the abortion bill they passed. The Alabama Senate passes the nation's strictest abortion bill, making performing the procedure a felony with few exceptions. A felony for the doctor? I don't know. Chaos in the Alabama Senate. Williamsworth, Alabama just gavelled down the amendments creating rape and incest exceptions during the abortion bill debate. All right, there. I thought this was going to be trending a lot higher for most of the week. It hasn't so much. Am I buffering or something? Did something happen? Just real quick. Let me check here real quick. Everything's working? Okay, everything's working. Okay, I just had to check that real quick. And enough of that. anytime that type of issue comes up, that's going to be the big story of the day. And then David Gahan, don't know who that is. Happy 57th to the most devastatingly handsome, snarky, cheeky, powerful, inspirational bastard out there, David Gahan. You mean so much more. What? I've never heard of this guy, but apparently he's a performer, a singer. All right, well, he's 57. All right. It's about that time, people. Oh, man. So, let's see. I'm just checking the out here. Okay, there's nothing new there. So, all right, I wanted to just make sure that there wasn't anything in my DMs or in my Gmail box that I've missed that anyone wanted me to talk about. Alrighty then. So, thank you so much, people, for being here today. I am, how'd that happen? Anyway, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna head out today. I may be on back this afternoon though, so watch your notifications if you're interested, and or I might be on someone else's show this afternoon. But you can check at Twitter, whatever. Here's the deal: the Morning Night Live, which is brought to you by you. The way to find out about my show is if you down here, make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. Make sure you hit the bell. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, which is right down here at Dawg Knight. I also have an email, which is pdogknight@gmail.com if you want to send me articles that you want me to check out. Also, we don't take donations through Streamlabs for super chats and things like that, and just straight out donations. And we always read them during the show, or if you do it off hours, we will read it on the next show. So we're here every day, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Hello, Jenna P. 2 p.m. GMT for those of people who are in other parts of the world. And Jenna, you just missed the show, but it'll be back on in a minute if you want to check it out. But thank you for being here. It's so great to be here and do this every day, and hopefully you enjoy what we do. We're gearing up for our 100th show, which is in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from tomorrow will be our 100th show. We're gonna have a bunch of guests on that day, and I hope to have. I still trying to get a couple guests for tomorrow. I'm trying to do guests on every Friday. But in particular, I have invited a couple people, but they haven't been able to confirm yet. So I'm not announcing them. If you want to see who they're going to be, I'll announce them on my Twitter feed later today if I get those confirmations. So anyway, I got to get out of here. I have things to do, but not because they're more important than you. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Thank you again for the super chats and for just having fun in the chat and interacting. I appreciate you guys a lot. So, but that's all for me today. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.